Let's talk at the broader picture here, because this is actually our first opportunity to have you on the show since you became the EPA administrator. You've said that environmental protection and economic growth go hand in hand. However, you've got a recent action as well where you are basically allowing, the EPA is allowing the extension of gas flaring for natural gas operations while pipelines are being built. Could you, and that of course, some would argue is not great as far as emissions are concerned for the environment. Can you point to something where you have actually tightened regulation to make sure we have clean air?
Sure. So we've, in a number of fronts. One is on the water space. We increased water quality standards over the course of, it's a little over 30 miles of the Delaware River Basin across southeast Pennsylvania into Maryland and Delaware. With regards to NESHAPs and air quality, we have made some decisions that increased regulation in the NESHAP and HAP space. So obviously in our agency, it's air, it's water, it's land. And we want to strike that balance every day. We believe strongly that we don't have to choose between the two. So in some cases, we've pursued some of the largest acts of deregulation in the history of the country. With other decisions that we've made, we've increased regulations.
Well, the deregulation part, again, when you're just talking about people who care about the quality of their drinking water, I think it's important to note that the Trump administration has allowed basically loosened regulation on the way wastewater is allowed to be disposed of near critical waterways. And I'm just interested to know, how much does it matter when it comes to loosening regulations on the amount of chemicals that can go into the water that can then be accessed in the aquifers and then eventually drinking water?
Oh, there are a lot of laws and regulations are on the books. We talk about the Clean Water Act, the Safe Drinking Water Act. We just released our contaminant candidate list 6 that adds microplastics for the first time, that adds pharmaceuticals, PFAS, 75 chemicals, and more. This is actually the first time that microplastics has ever been added as a contaminant to the contaminant candidate list. So there are a lot of different examples ranging across chemicals and much more, where whether it's laws on the books or regulations that followed, this is regulated with maximum contaminate levels, and the thousands of water systems then have to come into compliance. A long, rich history of application of a landmark law in the Clean Water Act and then the Safe Drinking Water Act as well.